It's not the kind of shit they talk about on TV. Come on, let's go chat shit.
Doing video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Chat Geek. Should we call it season 3? Something. Well, this
Well,
the new.
it is currently on. I think it is on season 3 at the minute. Series 3. I think it was series. It might be series 2. I don't know. Should we just start again?
We'll just start again. Welcome to Let's Chat Geek.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Seamus Jordan.
I'm
With me, as
Mike
always, is the Magic Man himself.
Just interrupting him while he's introducing me. Hey guys.
It's not like we've been doing it for like 4 years.
I know.
Not on video.
Mate,
That's the odd chance.
Yeah, it's mad.
It's 4, 5. It's been probably 5 years.
Oh, we started this when you were in the shop by BHS, weren't
Yeah.
we? Little tiny
5
cupboard
years.
upstairs.
Yeah. So anyway, welcome. If
People's
you're
everywhere.
it's your first time here,
First
thank
time
you very much.
viewer.
First time caller, long time listener. I was trying to think of the thing then.
Oh, what's your name? Where you from?
Yeah.
Drop it in
Sure.
the comments.
Please like and subscribe. If you're listening to the podcast, please give it a comment and a like, and how well that works. We're available on all formats.
Usually this is done at the end of the video.
Yeah, we're going to do it at the beginning. We're becoming professionals.
It's going to take a while.
Yeah.
So-
So, like I said, 5 years and we still can't get an intro right. So today we're going to be talking about Marvel's What If and Suicide Squad. We haven't even talked about this.
I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen it.
I haven't seen it yet.
I'll talk about it.
I've heard really good reviews. But
Yeah,
then,
I can talk about it.
but then it's a James Gunn film and he's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, we won't talk about that. Maybe I thought you'd kind of seen it
No, unfortunately,
or watched it via other means.
other things have come up. So let's recap then, dude. How's it been for you the last couple of weeks? Like 3 months?
How's it been? It's
It
been
hasn't
3
been
weeks, hasn't it?
No, it's been 4 weeks. Loki, 3 weeks.
4 weeks.
3 weeks?
It's been alright.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed really, mate. I haven't got any news like you.
Yeah.
Like mine's just
Well,
sort of.
your gaming's like kind of opened up a bit more.
Yeah,
right?
gaming's opened a little bit more.
Yeah,
It's been really good.
Obviously, restrictions lifting a little bit. You could up your numbers, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, that was only from Saturday, so we didn't really do it. We kept restrictions in on Saturday. We just put them closer together and everything. But yeah, from sort of next week on, I think we're going to start doing open gaming and other bits and pieces. So I'm just literally working that out now, as you've seen me doing Photoshop when I came in. So, but yeah, so in a couple of weeks I might have some stuff to talk about it. But it's all just sort of come at once, and I didn't want to plan anything because every time we plan anything, it went wrong.
But you did predict that it was going to go wrong.
I
quite a few
did.
times. You were like, "This
I
is
tried to
gonna happen."
prepare for it as well,
is
but
gonna
this time I
happen.
just went, I'm not going to do anything because I stressed myself out.
Yeah.
So, actually, we got Free Comic Book Day coming up this week on Saturday.
This Saturday.
So, yeah, this Saturday the
Saturday.
14th.
I'll make sure I post this evening then.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'll be posted Saturday, and you'll be like,
Yeah. And then the following week, we got a comic book fair on Saturday.
"Oh, fair."
So, fair. Bum.
It's the reason why I'm not a comedian.
Yep. So, yeah, that's news of things going up, but nothing going on.
Nice,
But
Yeah.
you've got news.
I have got news. I did my first wedding Saturday. Finally DJing again.
For anyone that's not aware, Gavin's a DJ by trade.
Allegedly. Yeah, I am. I do mobile events and weddings and discos and stuff. And watch this, right? You're going to like this. You can find out here.
Or here. Or there.
Oh, mate, just give me more to edit now. Sod off.
You've got different things pinging up all over the place.
It's like doing this and then throwing a fist across your face.
You'll just do yours and you go, not here, not there, here.
Read me like a book. Oh. Yeah, I got.
So you could book Gavin if you're in South Wales or the South West. I would imagine you travel a little bit.
Well, all over, mate. I've been up to bloody. I did a gig in the hotel, the Radisson Blue, just outside of Doniford race circuit.
There we go.
Right up by
We need to travel. That was the
by the
Moulins,
airport.
right?
It was crazy. It was lovely. as well.
Moulin Rouge.
Lovely people. I'm not going all the way over there. Don't even know where there is, but I'm not going over there.
Moulin Rouge.
They won't let me across the bridge, will they? Or under the water, however you get across.
Swim, fly.
But yeah, weddings, events, corporate events, all sorts. I got big speakers who want some loud stuff played. I'll play loud stuff.
It's going to be adding new toys soon as well.
You still on that, are you?
Still
To
doing
be fair,
it.
mate, we could probably build one cheaper
No,
than we could buy
we'll
one.
just buy one and then we'll make money. we'll make bank. So I'm Gavin to get one of them things you stand on, the camera goes around.
It's called a 360 photo booth.
Yeah, one of them.
It's a platform you stand on.
It's really cool.
You stick your phone in the slot and you press a button and it spins around you twice.
Wouldn't you want to manage your wedding?
You. And like I say, it's a
Or
great
christening.
idea until it goes across and hits a kid and knocks a kid out, and then you sue.
Well, no, you build barricades around, and then if the kid gets into the barricades, you charge the parents for the damage they just caused. I think it's only fair. I'm a father now, and if my son did that, I would pay for the damage, because there's a barricade there, son.
Yeah.
Just, respect rules, even though I don't. But don't be like me.
I weren't going to say that, then, mate. It did come to my head. I was like, respecting
I
rules,
can't
Bob.
help it, mate.
Respecting rules, Bob.
Every time I shake a party, he just gives me the looks. And I was like, fuck, it's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to swear anymore, am I?
Nah, doesn't matter.
Just edit that one out.
Won't work. Jeez.
Beep. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, so...
We have to try and stop swearing.
You also you're trying to do your other stuff, the letters and the...
Oh yeah,
other
that's
bits and pieces.
that's in the progress. That's in progress. I almost bought some last week. Obviously, the post, but I'm like, I like the idea. It was the £400 I think you wanted for them, and I like the idea of paying £400 for letters, £100 a letter. Works out right. I can make the money back in 3 or 4 bookings. Great. At the moment, I don't know where to store them.
It's the biggest problem.
I just, if I had I mean, once I'm at the point where I'm doing an event every week, and I literally every week I got a disco, I'll get a lockup. And I'll make sure everything goes in my lockup. At the moment,
That's fair.
at the moment it goes in a shed, and I don't really like burnt in a shed either.
No, definitely.
But yeah, when it gets to that point, I'll get myself a lockup. Everything will go in the lockup. Job done. It's crazy.
And then next the 360.
That it is on the cards, but I don't think it'll be this side of I don't think it'll be with the new year, because I gotta get a lockup first. I've got to have a place to store everything. And the thing is, that need to be manned.
Yeah.
Which sucks. That's why I like the ones they got that are like selfie booths. You seen them? They walk up, they go dook dook dook, and it just takes their picture and then it prints them out. Hi, brilliant. Just stick in a corner, plug it all in. Knock yourself out.
Yeah.
It's not working. That's your fault. You broke it.
What?
But yeah.
Have you got any upcoming plans? I've done mine.
Got
Got any events you booked in
so
for?
do you remember back like 6 months ago, there was a video that came out, and this video spurred the creators of this video to get hired by James Gunn.
It's the video I sent
And
you.
it's the one you sent me. You remember you were talking about doing it in the shop?
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at the rules, and I said to you about the rules. Well, what I didn't
As I just
for-
previously mentioned, I don't care about rules.
What I didn't, yeah, but it's the Fry's Walk rules. However, what I didn't account for was the weight limit of the drone. So, to catch you up, there was a video that came out of these drone pilots, and they do drone racing. And what they did is they flew for an advert for a bowling alley. They flew a drone around the bowling alley, and literally one take down underneath people's legs, through the bowling alley, up around the back where all the pins.
I'll tell you
go.
what, let's give Gavin more work.
There's a link by here.
We'll put a clip in here now.
Oh, I can't put a clip in. I'm putting a clip in. I'll put a link in the description below, or one of those little eye pops that come up across the top of the screen you normally see, which is like above Blobby's head.
Oh, here.
But see, that's what I'll do now. Where you went like this, that's where I'll put my link. And you go like this. I'll just. But yeah, I'll put the link in there. I'll find it and I'll put the link in there. But he was like, "Oh, we should do that. We should do that. You can come in here and fly it around my shop." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll look into it." So I looked into it and I found that most of the, I haven't talked this much in ages, most of the drones are not within regulation. And like I said to you, the one I bought, it was crap. The filming on it was rubbish. I could have used it in practice flying with it, no problem.
Yeah.
But it was just, the filming on it, it was just terrible quality. And to get a decent quality one, you're looking at spending £400, because you need one with a reader that literally films and reads as it's flying.
£400, first flight, into a wall, shit.
Yeah, pretty much. So I was looking into them, and I was like, do you know what, £400, that's not actually bad doing. Like I say, I was about to spend £400 on love letters, but I couldn't fit them in anywhere. I was like, and the best thing is, one of the big old buy them online services do a monthly thing. And I'm like, oh, I could do a monthly thing of 5 months of like 80 quid. I could do that. So in the next month or so, I might have a drone that has a 4K camera that I won't be able to edit because I don't have a strong enough computer to edit 4K. But the best thing is you can dull it down to 1080p, which I can do, which is what this is.
Yeah.
But
You don't need to see us in 4K. You don't need to see us in 720, to be honest.
No. This will be edited down to like 8-bit.
Yeah.
Will look like computer characters.
Do, 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 do.
I got to try and find a filter now just for this segment.
Have I got to move like that as well?
I'll just cut frames out.
Leave the audio in frames.
So all of a sudden we'll be talking like this, and then we'll be like this, and then we'll be like that. Like
old
a computer
CCTV
game, like.
footage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then, I guess we should talk about the
What if?
program in hand.
Mate, I completely forgot it was being dropped. I went
Yeah,
to
it was a
work.
weird one.
I did everything in work.
I think it's hard because this is the middle of summer.
Yeah, but I did everything in work. I did all my deliveries and everything else. And last night I was sat in the van, and Advert came on the telly. On the telly. Yeah, driving around my van with the telly on. Advert came on the radio, and it was for What If. And it was like, streaming now. And I was like, oh crap, yeah, that was today.
Yeah.
So, and I got home from work and completely forgot about it when I'm watching
Yeah,
Legends of Tomorrow instead.
Yeah, life got in the way last night, very much so.
But I was like, oh yeah, that. Grab my beer. Let's watch it. Drink it with a beer. So, overall thoughts then. I thought it was a nice retelling of the story.
Yeah, I've discussed in the past that I really enjoy What If comics. So for me, I like it just a different aspect of a story. And it was really good, really strong. I love the fact that nearly all the actors came back to do their voices.
Yeah.
The only one's missing is Chris Evans, really.
Chris Evans. But the guy who did his voice wasn't that bad.
Oh yeah, he was spot on.
I mean, you could slightly hear the difference. I mean, it wasn't Hugo Weaving. It was the guy who did the Red Skull in...
Ross Mulligan.
Yeah, I can't never remember his name. It was him.
I'm sorry if I butchered that.
But it's great. I mean, he does a brilliant job.
But he was in Endgame, so he still sort of
did play
returned.
the Red Skull, so yeah. Which is funny because Hugo Weaving just didn't like it because he didn't like the makeup for the Red Skull. And
I just don't think he liked production and the whole idea of it, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he did the Matrix. Come on, it's not a far-fetched throw from the Matrix.
Well, I suppose the Matrix all he had to do was comb his hair,
Yeah, comb his hair over,
put a pair of glasses on.
look angry all the time. But yeah, that's all right though. Still, like I say, it was still good. Good.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Animation was great on it.
Yeah,
I like the storyline. They obviously differed a little bit.
it pretty much followed the same kind of beats as First Avenger, as it was called,
pretty
Captain
much.
Carter, First Avenger. It pretty much followed the same beats. You had the train, you had the saving the 107th, you had the you had the whole. It was all pretty much the same, except whereas Steve was much of was kind of a yes man. He went along with what orders he was given. She wasn't. She was the opposite. So it kind of matched when they were saying about going out and selling bonds. She was kind of that there was never going to be her thing.
Yeah.
When they did the whole when they got the Tesseract, spoiler alert, when they go and get she like fights all the trucks and gets the Tesseract before Hydra get to make their things. It was like that's exactly the kind of thing she would have done. So it fit the characters perfectly. It also fit her character because she's a trained fighter. She's been a soldier for years. She's a special agent. Of course, she's going to go straight in with a shield and just charge a truck down. Of course, she's going to think she's strong enough to do that. Steve didn't, because Steve's always been a tiny little dude. So he's just not, he doesn't know how strong he is. Yeah. She was always like the risk taker. She was always going to be that person. Yeah. So all of that was believable. They did a lot of beats from the entire Captain America thing as well, didn't they? They did like the landing when he jumps off in Winter Soldier, where he blows up the ship as he's leaving, as Hydra just be unveiled. Yeah, and he jumps off and does his shield land. She does that. Loads of little beats in there. And it was a really nice retelling. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's really strong. I like the fact you left it with an open-ended story, because obviously in the MCU, Steve goes into the ice, where with this one she's being sucked out of the dimension. Now it's going into a dimension that I'm assuming she goes back to her own. Mm-hmm. Because I only say that because she left the dimension. That's part of the story.
And Hawkeye wouldn't have known Captain Carter if it wasn't in her own dimension.
Yeah,
because it was.
So it'd be good.
So that's Captain Carter.
It'll be good to see now if the uptake is Bucky and Steve create shields, and it's that different sort of.
Be the opposite way around.
Yeah, different sort of tell on the story, because obviously we won't get a Winter Soldier because Bucky and Steve never died.
Because on that train moment, when you had the when you had Steve go in and he's like, it's a trap, everyone get off. You know, he shouts, Peggy, go! And it blows up. I was like, oh, wow, Steve's going to be the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I thought that's an amazing twist. That would have been brilliant.
I quite like the fact she caught Bucky as well as he went to fall.
Yeah.
Like,
it could have ripped my arm off. Bravo, Disney, bravo.
Yeah. So
bravo, Marvel. But
I feel it was a pretty strong episode. I really enjoyed it.
I do feel they've missed a trick though. But
what?
I like the idea of saving Steve at the end and, you know, finding him in the armour and him charging the armour up on him. I like that. But I feel they missed a trick with him not coming back as the Winter Soldier. Leaving that out open-ended. I mean, he probably still could, but like you say, I think it's going to be him and Bucky stats thing. But I think that would have been such a great little... Because you look at the dynamic. Steve's best friend,
so Bucky, this will go on to a question.
The Winter Soldier.
No.
Peggy's best friend, Steve, becomes the Winter Soldier. It was a perfect retelling, but
right. But so, do you think we're going to get more episodes in season 2 carrying on this story? Because I don't. I think that's it.
Oh yeah. No, I'm with you. I think season 2 we might get. Actually, no. Thinking about it, we might do. They might just try and rehash the Avengers, but it's Captain Carter.
I don't think so. I think if it goes to a season 2...
But looking at that first episode, that 32-minute episode was the first Avenger in a different universe. Now, I know we're looking at it from... I can never remember his name. The Watcher's eyes. Yeah, he's got a name only, Awatu or something like that. I made that up. I'm going to put it by here. I like that. I can do this now. More work. Yeah, I liked watching it from his angle, and he can literally go, well, this is what happened in that universe. Now we can, like you say, that's one and done. Moving on. But why would they change the Twitter account to Captain Carter a week before it dropped?
Because I'm sure they're going to change the Guardians of the Galaxy one now with a different Star-Lord, because that's what we get next week. So I'm interested to see. I don't want to follow up because I don't get follow-ups in the comics. Mm-hmm. So and I'm happy with that. I'm happy if I get to read what if the Punisher, if Spider-Man become the Punisher, what if Daredevil worked with Kingpin. Yeah. Get the sort of done, get to a point, and then it's done. I don't want it to carry on, and I quite like the idea of this won't carry on. However, I feel that it will, because I feel we'll get sort of a universe's Avengers.
Yeah.
And then we've talked about it in the past of there's a strong possibility that this is actually part of the multiverse of madness. Mm-hmm. And the one surprise I didn't get was there's no Doctor Strange in this, because we've been told that this is a massive tie into that. So, but I don't want to follow up. I'm quite happy.
To be fair, at the moment we're in the 40s. Doctor Strange, his dad probably weren't even born, but we're in the 40s at the minute. And then obviously the end of it, she comes out of the portal and literally just goes straight into.
Yeah, but it's a change of. Because it's the multiverse, he can go to any time or space, can't he? So
he can. And like I say, as a watcher, we can go and we can show any of that. But I think, like you say, there's no Doctor Strange in this. I'm fine with that. It would have been funny if Doctor Strange was stood with Nick Fury instead of Hawkeye, but it wouldn't have fit. Yeah. So obviously they still got it as Pegasus, still trying to make engines out of it, because I think one of the YouTubers, I think you probably watch it now as well. He said that it was Thor coming to it. Yeah, it was in the Avengers, wasn't it? Because if you remember, in the Avengers, Sam Jackson, so Nick Fury says, we started making weapons again because of Thor. Came to Earth and leveled a town. And that's why they went and made weapons. So, up until this point, Pegasus is still all about that ship that's probably, still floating around in space in this universe. Because we don't know what the Captain Marvel situation is going to be. But still, that's what Pegasus is, all about making the ships, making the faster than light travel. So there's currently no weapons, which is great. So the Hydra weapons didn't exist. So Captain Carter's not going to find Hydra weapons. And if she's going to find a calamari, which I love that little dig, and they run in and went, oh, look, calamari, it's going to be what's just come out of the portal anyway. So,
yeah, I don't want to follow up. I'm quite happy with it just being there and letting our imaginations just run with how they want to run. And I think that's an idea of a what if.
I agree. But it does feel like they're going to kind of rehash the entire Infinity Saga with what if stories.
No, I think
I wouldn't mind if they did all the individual films. I'd be happy if they did, let's say they did Captain Carter and the Winter Soldier, and the Winter Soldier was, I don't know, the general who Tommy Lee Jones played.
Yeah.
I say it was him, just randomly thrown out there. They had a connection because that was her commanding officer, yeah? So there was something there. Let's say that's the way it goes, and then we still got that individual film. I don't mind that. Individual films I can deal with. I quite like the idea of them doing their individual films, just not the big ensemble ones. So
Yeah,
no,
I don't
we don't
think
get Avengers,
I
we don't
think-
get Civil War. Oh, we might get Civil War.
I don't
we
think
do get Civil War. Zombies.
Yeah, but zombies is different.
Yeah, but it's still Civil War. 'Cause it's Cap vs Iron Man in the well, it looks like in the trailers anyway. But yeah.
But I've got no problem with them not connecting. I like the fact that they're one-shot stories, and they're different twists on stuff. So I like it just opens up the universe to speak about different ways of doing stuff. Something that I've been used to for years in comics, obviously. My next question to you would be: is there any particular hero / story? Now, obviously, we've got trailers, but there's supposedly they announced more episodes today.
I don't know. I didn't look.
Yeah, I haven't looked. I haven't even watched the trailer. I haven't even watched the second
Do you reckon
trailer.
it's going to be in this? Because we had 6 for the others, didn't we?
I don't know. But supposedly there was
supposed to be
more
12.
episodes announced today, or more details about episodes that they haven't. That's not in the trailers. I didn't look at anything because I didn't want to spoil anything. Like I said, I haven't even watched the trailer properly. I didn't even know the zombie Civil War was zombies as well. I thought it was just zombies because I've read the zombies.
It did, but looking at the trailer, it looks like they're playing it as this Civil War because it looks like it's Iron Man versus Cap as zombies. But
Right.
again, we don't. Trailers tell different stories, don't they? So
Okay, so in this
excuse me.
what if scenario now, then obviously you know a little bit more of me because you've seen trailers. I've avoided the majority of trailers. I've watched 1 or 2. Is there any particular stories? Okay, without the trailers, you would like any particular heroes, any particular things you'd like to see?
I don't know. I didn't really give any thought of what I want to see. That's a good question there.
See, there's a couple for me. So with I knew zombies was coming. I would like to see the whole MCU and zombies. So I'd like to see like a Wolverine, a Magneto, because in the comics, Magneto is one of the last to get caught because he can just.
This is actually canon, isn't it? It even had the MCU intro. It's actually canon.
But because it's different universes, or why not?
What? Yeah, but what if they do that? What if that's how they start introducing X-Men?
Yeah, well, why not? Why?
No, it's called What If. No, why not?
Yeah, why not? What if? And why don't we get a different interpretation of X-Men 92? Like, literally,
true, yeah.
X-Men 92 is one of my favourites. So the opening of X-Men 92, one of my favourite characters, a sort of favourite character of mine, goes and dies. What if he doesn't? What if that's a different story? What if X-Men 92 doesn't end the way it is, or we don't get what we got and it's different? Like, Wolverine's not the main person and Magneto's a good guy, but it's made exactly the same as like X-Men 92, where this is obviously modern and it's new. We get like the old school cartoony, like proper cartoony X-Men 92. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So like just something like that.
Considering
I'd
they're
like,
owned by Disney now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's so many possibilities now
Yeah.
that you can look at, and obviously they don't own the right for Spider-Man for film, but they do own the rights for Spider-Man for
Animation and cartoon.
animations and
They
everything.
own
So
half of them, don't they? Spectacular Spider-Man's there.
so why can't we see that? Why can't we see? I like the idea of these what ifs. I like the idea
Well,
of
yeah, actually, they did it in one of the Spider-Man films, didn't they? Madam Web drags him into a universe and he like goes and assembles like 10 Spider-Men.
Yeah.
And one of them's the actor that played Spider-Man in the film. And then Stanley gets the web sling in that episode. Obviously, sadly, he's not around anymore, so we couldn't have that. That would have been a great cameo. He just gets picked up and carried off like Aunt May does in the second film.
yeah.
And it's like,
But like there's so many
old?
so many great options now, and because they got the majority of the characters back, we can open up different universes. Like one of my favorite universes is the Ultimate Universe, which no longer exists. And when that opened, it was opened by Mark. It was done by Mark Miller, and you get the Avengers, but they're called the Ultimates instead of Avengers, and they run differently. So Thor, while being a god, has actually been on Earth for years, and he's actually a drunk, and he's actually been living in Norway, I want to say.
it's going to be Norway. 'Cause that's,
I'm pretty sure it's Norway, but he's like a drunk, and so Nick Fury is Samuel L. Jackson, because in the normal the original MCU, he was white with grey down his sides. Yeah. David Hasselhoff played him, but Nick Fury looks like Samuel L. Jackson in they drew him on Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah. The whole Hulk getting kicked out the helicopter. Banner does that in Ultimates to get Hulk to come out. He jumps out the helicopter and the Hulk comes out, helps him, and then they kick the shit out of him. So there's all these different.
Much for swearing.
Yeah, this the S word is fine. So there's all these different like scenarios. Like in the Ultimate Universe, I'm spoiling Ultimate Universe, but it's 20 years old now. Natasha is a Russian spy still, and Tony Stark doesn't get shrapnel in his chest and have an arc reactor. He's got an aneurysm in his skull the size of a golf ball, and he doesn't know when he'll die. And he falls in love with Natalia and gives her a suit and everything, and she betrays him. But yeah, so it's like different stories. And I've also talked about previously the Western. Remember the Western I said to you about?
That'd be
1872.
Good. Yeah.
That would be a great, like, just what if...
I mean, that was a comic.
Yeah, it's called 1872. It was like a 5-part series, and then a character called Red Wolf comes out of it and goes into the future. It's not that good, unfortunately. But the opening part is very much, it's a Western with characters as we know them. So Tony Stark's the time drunk, but he's the inventor. Steve Rogers is the sheriff. Kingpin's the mayor. Bennett is the editor of the newspaper, and Peter Parker works there. So it's all these different bits and pieces, and it's like different talents. And that's a great What If episode.
Yeah.
What if the Avengers or the MCU was born in like the Wild West in 1872 or whatever what did I say it was 1878.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's like we said about Loki. It's a bit of a shame that Loki only did one flashback to DB Cooper.
The DB Cooper.
Like
I would have loved one.
Did you watch the Avengers Assembled episode?
No, I didn't watch it. No.
And it's like the making of, and he like interviews all the cast or the director, and most of the cast are British. Well done. The director, she's fantastic. She's done an amazing job with that. That entire series was awesome. The one shot on the bit where they're trying to get to the ship, brilliant.
Yeah. She
was on there and she was saying that a lot of people speculated it would be down the road of Quantum Leap, and she didn't want to go down that road. She liked the fact that she misconcepted, but at the same time she wanted to be its own story. I was like, I can respect that, but I really got excited for a Quantum Leap-esque, like Loki just turning up and just like him being the DD of the universe. What does Button do? Clink. Oops! I've just fired a nuke. Run away.
Yeah.
You know, and literally, like you say, keep saying literally. They're like, it's going to be one of my swear words. Beep it out. You could have him turning up places, and he's the reason why we have like the race to the moon. Why are we racing to the moon? Oh, because our advisor has told us this, this, and this. Oh, well, the Russians' advisor have told them they're racing to the. You're racing to the moon. Oh, well, we got to beat them to the moon. And little stories like that. It could have been just such hilarious things, and it would be a reverse of Quantum Leap, where he's going and causing mischief rather than fixing things like in Quantum Leap.
I just it's an interesting world we now live in, without going over stuff that we've covered a billion times. But how Doctor Strange will tie all this up, but yet probably unleash a million things as well. It's just open up as a possibility, and I like the idea of it.
I'm hoping Doctor Strange is a Nexus being, because I'm hoping he exists as the same Doctor Strange in all of them. Because I remember I said before that there was I read somewhere that it's the same Doctor Strange in the What If universe that we have in the MCU.
Yeah.
Now, if that is the case, and he is a Nexus being, then that means it will be the same Doctor Strange throughout the entire thing, and he will be the thing that ties them all together.
Yeah.
Because it's not... I know Wanda's only going to be a zombie from what I've read, but it's not Elizabeth Olsen voicing Wanda. So I'm like, okay.
We'll have to wait and see on that. I think we should tie that part up, eh? I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to next week, which is T'Challa as Star-Lord.
Yeah. That's quite like fun. I like the
idea
concept.
of
Although he still has his accent.
It's Chadwick Boseman.
But he wouldn't have kept his accent for so long, would he? Well, then I suppose Peter did as well.
Well, he would have kept his accent, wouldn't he? Because you're sort of It might have adapted a little bit, but
yeah. I mean, it's this sad. It's really sad, like that Chadwick died. It's just like
yeah.
But
What what was I going to say? It's gone. No, it's gone. There we go.
there we go.
Fluffed.
Tune in next week for.
No, yeah. No, that was, it was decent. Nope, it's gone. I don't know what it is. I'll try to get it back then. I think one of the best things that can come out of this is we might finally get a fucking Spider-Man trailer. I just swore again. Sorry, Gav. Cut this part out. I think one of the best things that might come out of this is we might get a Spider-Man trailer. Oh, God. I'm trying not to swear.
Take 2.
Mark it down, whatever. See, we haven't got a clock anymore. Can't even mark it down in minutes to make it easier for you. Anyway, one of the best things that might come out of this, we might get a Spider-Man trailer. They're going to be looking at us going, what the fuck are you laughing for?
What are they laughing for?
What are they laughing for?
Good to do this again. Oh, it's gonna be funny when we get to the end and I like put up like a picture and it's just like a see-through
The
picture.
bloopers.
And it's just got us doing this over and over.
So anyway, might get a Spider-Man trailer.
You can't say it without laughing.
I'm gone.
Oh.
Anyway, Suicide Squad.
One thing I like about this, so maybe we might get a Spider-Man trailer.
Might get a Spider-Man trailer. Yeah, no, I never thought of that. I never thought that way.
Can't do it every time. Oh my God.
Anyway, Spider-Man trailer. Still haven't got one, but might get one. Right, okay, let's just go probably there. You can leave all this in, just cut it this word in part.
Yeah.
Right,
That was
anyway,
a funny 5 minutes.
Spider-Man trailer.
Yeah, we're
I have a genuine
we're
question about the Spider-Man trailer. Do you actually want one?
So
welcome back to part 2. Part 1, you'll just see a picture of us framed like that, without the point in, and you'll just listen to the audio, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. Chuck a couple ads on.
Well, what I could do, see, take a picture of us like this, and then just animate some mouths on with all the audio. So if you're still with us, for 35 minutes, we've been doing this podcast. For 29 of them, for some random reason, my watch controls my camera, and I nudged it, and it stopped the video.
2 minutes in.
2 minutes in. So it goes, hi, I'm Shane Richard Jordan, I'm Blob, and I'm Foz, and I'm Gav, and this, that, and the other, and then it goes, choop.
Goodbye.
So you'll have that bit, and then it'll freeze. Oh, that's what I should just do, make it a glitch. And then when people are watching, it starts back up again. And the video starts back up again.
What,
and then they get to this explanation.
After 36 minutes.
And they get to this explanation.
With us not moving on screen.
And then, I'll put a big thing in there. The video's glitched, keep watching, we're still talking. You can actually see the making of that bit now.
Please stand by.
Yeah, please.
Suffering technical difficulties.
I'll put us in a circle and I'll put the things all around us with the do you remember that with the clown? Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
It's just time to go to bed. That's like we're age showing.
This is like a making of the YouTube video. This,
yeah,
from a podcast. The making of. I got the audio still there though. Although with the audio, I am gonna cut that little block out in the middle there where we stopped and got a drink. And I didn't even have a drink because I was bloody panicking over that thing.
Right. So anyway, I asked a genuine question just before we went and grab a drink. So we're gonna start again.
No.
I asked the question. They go nowhere.
Well, the video, they do know it because the audio's still there. So
you said you was going to cut it out because we stopped to get a drink.
Yeah, I'm going to cut. Yeah, that's a good point. Go on then.
So,
make me laugh when I'm drinking, please.
Spider-Man. Do you even want a trailer?
At the point I am now, no. And to be fair, I don't think we're going to get one until literally a week or two before it's released, based on the fact that it's generated enough interest by not having one. I personally would love them to drop little bits like they have been. So like when they did Home Wrecker and those other 3 things, and I said that they Insidious 6, the Home Wrecker was your Rhino, and Home Slice. And it was like, and then we had a couple of weeks went by, and then we had rumours of Andrew Garfield being seen, and we had rumours of Electro. Paul Giamatti's rumoured to be on set as well. Obviously, he played Rhino. And we got Alfred Molina. He messed up and put a post up saying he'd been on set, and it's like, oh, okay, so all the hints are there, and I think that's generating enough interest.
So I agree. I don't really want a trailer because if we do get that stuff, it's going to be spoiled. Sort of already spoiled, but it's still hearsay at the moment. There's still that barrier.
If we get a trailer, it needs to be Endgame-esque, and it needs to be literally Peter Parker doing some, I don't know, talking about some bits and pieces, and maybe we see Doctor Strange. And that's it. That's enough. Because it's like, oh, it is going into the multiverse. So we know that anyway, because the bloody synopsis on IMDb tells you what's happening. Yeah. But it doesn't tell you extra Spider-Man, doesn't tell all that. It tells you Pete's on the run, goes to an old friend for help, and you're like, there we go. There we go. So
for me, I don't know if you remember this, but when we went back, I think might have been Endgame, maybe Infinity War. I think it was Endgame, where I said I didn't want the trailer at all. What I wanted and what I thought would be amazing. Now, if you use this idea, Disney, I want bank. Is to do 15-minute snippets. Now, at the time, Instagram story was, I think, just starting. We might have been talking about something else. I can't remember, but it was just like, let's do 15-minute snippets. It might have been Instagram with just allowed videos, and it was 15 seconds, sorry, not 15 minutes, 15-second snippets. And I said, why don't you just do that for the film? And the 15 seconds is literally everything we've seen before. So Hawkeye would have got one, Iron Man would have got one, Cap would have got one, so on and so forth. The build up and just the bits and pieces, little just build up, and then just the credits at the end. Because that is going to build more hype. Because you're going to remember them feelings. You're going to, oh god, yeah. And then you go into, and everyone goes into film knowing nothing.
And to be fair, that would have generated more because people would have been a bit annoyed that there was no new material. Why didn't they show us new material? Let's talk about the old material.
Yeah.
Let's speculate more.
Why can't we do something like that with Spider-Man, where it's just literally snippets of past things or bits and pieces, or it's just like you said, nothing. Like I'd rather nothing. Like,
to be fair, I thought we were going to get one. I thought we were going to get a drop with Loki. I thought we were going to get a drop.
What's the date?
12th August.
Right, okay. So another day, another milestone has passed. Peter Parker's birthday is August the 10th. And we're starting to see one.
Okay.
So I don't want one. I don't want one.
I think if anything, it'll drop with Shang-Chi. Because it'll be
too late.
It'll be cinematic. It's like, why would we drop a trailer online? There's no Super Bowl, is there? Online. The Super Bowl was the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
So there's no big sporting event they could drop with.
I just think no. Just don't do it.
Comic-Con was a couple of weeks ago. We would have been there if we'd had it.
We got fuck all at Comic-Con.
So we had what at Comic-Con?
We had nothing at Comic-Con, did
we? Why is the video so glitchy? No, I'm nuts here. I kept swearing.
Yeah, I keep swearing. I apologise. I'm just new to this.
But yeah, we can look at the camera now. It's working.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at the camera for the first 30 minutes as well. Yeah. So.
And we did a lot of this. Oh,
yeah.
There's all of this gone.
You can't do that. All that. So, yeah, trailer. I don't want one now. I don't want one of Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is...
It's done. That's
September
we had enough
12th.
We had enough on their trailers. The trailers are brilliant.
Yeah, but just we're going to go see that. But I don't want to trailer
for all the footage around in the trailers you've already done and drop it again. No one will know. They'll be like, oh.
I don't want a trailer for Spider-Man and Shang-Chi. I don't want an Eternals. I don't want it. I don't want it. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
To be fair, I think Eternals will need one because I'm looking forward to seeing it, but I'm not. It's not. It's like what's that film that came out recently? The Jungle Cruise. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm going to go to the cinema to watch it. I can sit at home and watch it. Pay the extra and sit at home. Comfort in my own home.
I'd love the cinema.
So, I do love the cinema. But the one here is shut, which is great because it was terrible.
It was.
The Cineworld is I know it's you want to pay good money for it, but it's expensive. I like the view. The view's always booked because it's brilliant. I love it. Big seats, give us some free stuff.
Yeah. Free tickets.
Maybe that's what I should do. I'll approach the View and be like, hi, we review films. Can we have a free seating for two of us once a week?
Here we go. What,
I will. I'll approach them.
What is, your thoughts on how Disney and Marvel are approaching everything now with coming out of COVID and lockdown. Obviously, we've been delayed with films. We had the whole Black Widow turning up on Disney Plus, literally the week it came out in cinema, which is what we asked for a year ago. Mm-hmm. Do you think their approach will continue that trend now going forward? Do you think like Shang-Chi and Eternals and Spider-Man will all end up on there, or do you think they'll now start going back to a more actually we need to go into cinema?
I think if they release Shang-Chi and Spider-Man this year without doing the Disney Plus and cinema release at the same time, I think Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit will have so much more clout because hers will be the only MCU film that have done that. Now, when I said to you originally, what they should have done is when they released Disney Plus, that should have been the flagship.
Yep. And
it would have boomed, and they would have made just as much money as if they'd left it in cinema. Probably not, if not more. I mean, what? Like I say, View Cinema's a $5, Cineworld's a $10 for us, for adults. So that'd be, say if me and you went, that's 20 quid in one, $10 in the other. Disney Plus is 20 quid, and you get it for 48 hours. Yeah. All right, me and you would have watched the crap out of that and made sure, because I watched it 4 times. But still, it would have still made bank. I'll use your terms. It still would have made money because families would have bought it all over the place. I would have bought Disney Plus just to watch that film.
Yeah.
I'd have paid my 45 quid for a year, then gone, I've got to pay 20 quid extra now to watch this. I still paid it because I was looking forward to it. But then that year break of not having it, and of course, the big global bugger just decided to screw us all over. But not having that year, well, they didn't drop it then. It's like the James Bond film. I was really looking forward to No Time to Die, and then they gave him more time. And it's like, I'm not interested now.
To die.
I'm not interested now. Yeah, the puns came out when they pushed it by. I was lovely. I'm not interested now. Morbius,
yeah.
Morpheus?
No, that's totally different.
Mobius. I'm lost now. Yeah.
Had the first time.
Oh, yeah. I'm not interested in that film now. But I know why they have to release it when they do, because it's after Venom. It's after Carnage. It's after Venom 2. That's why they haven't released it. It comes in that timeline. And I was like, well, that's gutting, but it's made, it's ready to go. Why hasn't it been released yet?
Well, it's different. Sony haven't got their own platform to release stuff. But again, I know what you mean, yeah.
I'm just like, I'm at that point now, I'm like, I'm not really interested. Free Guy I was really looking forward to Free Guy. And then it delayed, and then it still got released anyway on thing. Suicide Squad was on HBO Max.
It was on HBO Max, but it was about 10 days after?
I mean, that you can understand, because then you get the blockbuster weekend, which is the main weekend they make money. The first 2 weekends. You get the first weekend where all the geeks go, and the second weekend where all the people who haven't seen it go, and the geeks go to watch it again. Which I get. And I'm really looking forward to Free Guy, but again, the delay is just kind of like, it might be why I don't want a Spider-Man trailer, because it's just everything's just taking so long and being delayed so much.
So going back to the original question, do you think that they will continue going down this route of dual releasing? Because obviously when we spoke previously and we spoke about HBO Max, Warner Brothers, they said that they were going to carry on this year doing their releases, but they've now already pulled the plug on us, saying, at the end of this year, no, everything's going back to cinema first. Because I think there's a caveat here with what people don't realise is, as much as you said, it's great to watch it at home. It's the moment you can give somebody else control of that video will end up online.
Of course, yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Within 2 hours of Suicide Squad being on HBO Max, it was available on every torrent site in the world.
Yeah. All you need is a good capture card and a screen recorder, and that's it, done. I've got both, but I use it for gaming because I don't do piracy.
Yeah. So, but I think that's part of the issue. So,
unless
I think so. I'll answer my question. I think Shang-Chi and Eternals will stay on Disney Plus. I don't think Spider-Man will. I think Spider-Man is going to cinema only, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's going to cinema only. There's 2 reasons. One, it's Spider-Man, and 2, it's the only it's the only Christmas film they got coming out. There's no Star Wars this year. There's no other Disney properties coming out.
3, it's Sony.
Yeah, but I think it's more to do with Disney need
'Cause
the...
Spiderman is no,
I've-
'cause Far From Home isn't on Disney Plus yet either, is it? It's on Netflix.
No,
then,
it's
isn't
owned
it?
by Netflix. So
Yeah, because it's
So they're
obviously
supposedly
Sony
it
got
is
the
coming over
rights.
to Disney Plus. They have,
Yeah,
they have
as soon
done
as the rights have gone. But
they
yeah,
made
I
a
think,
deal on it.
I think it might. Yeah, Spider-Man. I don't think Spider-Man will because again, the ownerships, and yeah, Spider-Man is a great one to launch full-time cinema backup.
Yeah, I don't think it'll.
But given the Delta variant has now made its way through the US and Australia, and it's now freezing everything again.
yeah,
Got my
So
second
weird.
jab next week. Supposed
I
to
had
have had
one.
it 2 weeks ago.
yeah, around Friday.
Yeah, well, mine was, oh, your first wedding back. Come and have your jab. I'm like, oh, I'm not having it that day. It's me for 6. I'm not missing out on my first wedding. So I was like, rebook me. And they went, okay, we'll send you a letter out next week. All right, got it on the 28th, 27th, whatever next Thursday is.
Fair enough. So, talking to Suicide Squad, what a segue. Look at that. Professional. You haven't seen it, I have. Do you want me to talk about it?
Yeah, carry on. Like I say, that's another one that I've been excited for, but at the same time, I think I've lost the pull towards cinema because obviously we haven't had it for so long,
Yeah.
and I haven't been back to cinema yet. And I think the first.
So you went to see Fast and Furious 9?
No, not Fast and Furious. I did go to cinema to watch something. When I watched something, what did we watch? Me and my partner went. What did we go and watch? Oh, I think it was a scary film or a horror film. Yeah, it was Saw. I want to watch Saw. The latest Saw.
Oh, the Book of Spiral.
Yeah. And it was alright.
Yeah, you talked about it previously. I
Alright.
remember you talking about it now.
But I think I need to. I think I just need to get back on it.
Yeah. So,
I've lost
Suicide
that
Squad.
control.
Yeah. There you go, that's my review. No, it's decent. It's very good. It's enjoyable.
I don't.
However-
I don't need to an answer for this one because it probably goes without saying. Better than the first.
Oh, way better than first.
It goes without saying.
It's probably the best
A
DCEU film.
A lot of people have rated it as the best, and Shazam is second.
But the problem I got with that, I still haven't seen Shazam. The problem I got with people's reviews on this is they're judging it against something.
Shazam's on Prime. Go watch Shazam.
I've owned Shazam for over a year on Blu-ray.
Friggin' watch it then, you knob.
I've owned Judge Dredd, or Dredd.
Dredd was good. Carl Urban.
I still haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, that was good.
But anyway, we're not going into that.
Third act was a bit slow, but the rest of it was brilliant.
Suicide Squad's really good. I recommend watching it. I really enjoyed it. It's well shot, great casting, very good storyline. My biggest problem is, and I'm not trying to be a party pooper here in any way, shape or form, is too many people have over fucking hyped. Too many people have overhyped it. Oh, sorry, Gav. Sorry, Edda, Gav. That's him there. Too many people have overhyped it. It's not as amazing as people have been saying it is. I seen Facebook friends turning around saying it's probably better than an Endgame and Thor Ragnarok, and I'm just looking, going, what?
Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
I just it's good. It's really good. It's definitely worth watching.
I honestly thought you were going to do a catchphrase then. It's good, but it's not right.
No, it's good. I have no problem with it.
Watching the trailers, I thought it was fantastic. Well, it looks.
Yeah, but the problem is the
brilliant.
first trailers look great as well. The first film,
Yeah, that's
until the
your
third
point, actually,
trailer.
yeah.
No, it's really good, and it doesn't quite balance whether it's a sequel or a reboot. It is a sequel. They do sort of cover that. And the poster's right. Don't get attached to anyone.
Yeah, I'm told that there's a lot of characters are gone.
I'm trying to do this with non-spoilers, but yeah, it'll be interesting
you
to
can
see.
spoil it. I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah,
You can spoil it.
it'll be interesting to see where they go and what's next. Obviously, so you have John Cena in there as a Peacemaker, and he's getting his own TV show. So as I can spoil this, I will spoil it. He is working for Amanda Waller the whole time and kills Rick Flag, which pissed me off.
I quite like this character.
Yeah, and he wasn't in it as much as I was hoping he was going to be. And and then you think he
Yeah,
dies.
because in the trailers he's played as being the main character.
Yeah.
Which obviously he's the leader of the Suicide Squad in most of the comics.
It's all
so
Idris Elba, and I'd say he's got more in it than even Harley Quinn, to be honest. She's great. Harley Quinn. Bloodsport's amazing. I want a helmet. But yeah, I was quite gutted they killed off Rick Flag. They killed off Captain Boomerang in the opening credits.
Oh, fair one.
Which pissed me off because I thought he was the highlight
Yeah.
of 2016. As much as Harley Quinn was good, he was outstanding. He was, and yeah,
Ooh, fire.
it's like, yeah, he's gone, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not getting attached to anyone. But John Cena's character gets what we think is killed, and the end credit scene, safe to watching it, is him in a hospital and he wakes up. Or he's alive, sorry, he doesn't wake up, he's alive. So that's going to go on to the TV show, which I quite look forward to. His character all the way through is strong.
I knew he was going to be the one,
Yeah,
to survive because I knew the TV series was coming.
He's strong.
The concept of his character is great, though.
Yeah.
Peacemaker makes peace at all costs. He will
all
literally
costs.
kill everyone to
Kill
make
everyone,
peace.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
that's such a great concept.
Yeah. It's really good. King Shark is brilliant.
Sorry, it's not a great concept. I'm not for killing everyone. It's a great concept in a superhero movie that somebody is,
Yeah.
that
Called
bad, he's
Peacekeeper,
good.
but
Or
will
that
do
good, he's bad.
extreme violence to do Peacekeeper. Yeah, they worked well together. The casting worked well together. It wasn't, how Suicide Squad felt, without going into the overall, but the characters didn't quite mesh. Like, the actors didn't quite
it felt
have
like
the
they were
chemistry.
tripping over each other.
Yeah, like, I don't think Will Smith and Margot Robbie had the chemistry on screen and everything.
No, not in this film. In Focus, they were brilliant. It was Focus together. They were fantastic together.
They didn't quite have it, and like a lot of the characters just didn't quite gel in the original one.
Is that why
It seems in this one they
draw
gel.
Boomerang, because he kind of clicked with everyone in that film.
Well, he
But
was just sort of stood there, yeah.
That's because his job was to take the mick out of everyone, and that was kind of why he was there.
But yeah, they have that sort of chemistry. Obviously they're all doing their own thing. Harley Quinn's pretty cool in it. It's a bit more Harley Quinn-esque than it is when it was the original Suicide Squad. But overall, good film. Like,
does Jared Leto turn up?
No.
Great. Thanks for that.
I'm good that he doesn't turn up. I liked him as the Joker. I don't give a fuck about
I
it.
thought he was good as the Joker. I thought he was a good character in a bad film.
Yeah.
I loved his portrayal as the Joker.
Yeah, I think he's misunderstood massively, and I think there's a lot.
And I think he 100% should be Jason Todd. He should be Jason Todd Joker. And just even better. The J on his cheek doesn't mean Joker, it's for Jason.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, so much more of a deeper
it,
character to it. And that would literally make Ben Affleck's Batman the best Batman, just based on the fact that he is responsible for his being Joker, not because he's the best Batman.
Yeah. So, it's worth watching. Just be careful of the hype. I don't think it's...
Okay.
It's probably in the top 10 of superhero films.
At least an honourable mention.
It's there or thereabouts.
Yeah. Stood behind number 10, like, I'm over here.
It's kind of hard because if you judge it on anything DC have done in the past, Warner Brothers have done in the past, it's pretty good. It's great. It's not.
Well, see, when you say that, then you've got to look at all of them. You've got to look at all the
yeah, I don't mean the
Christopher
original
Nolan
Superman, even though that's obviously
Supermans
mega cheesy now, but it's definitely not better than Batman 88 and Batman Returns, and it's better than Batman and Robin, Batman Forever.
Obviously. Unfortunately, they sucked. They were just way too comic.
Batman Forever was alright.
But I still liked them.
Val Kilmer's Batman Forever. It was alright. It wasn't amazing. Batman and
them.
Robin was terrible.
Still liked it.
But
bring it on. Come on.
Yeah, no, it's decent. I give it 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
So it's definitely worth a watch. Yeah. If you can watch it.
Well, I got a couple of nights off. I might treat the missus to taking me to the cinema to watch a film she doesn't like and won't like.
She might like it.
It'll be like, we watched your film last time. She likes her scary films. So, but then I liked Saw. I liked the idea of Saw, and I wanted to see where the story went because I love the Saw films. Have you seen it?
Nope.
It's
yeah.
It's just they missed out on so much tricks, so many little tiny story.
I can imagine
arcs,
it's never done well
Like, don't get me wrong,
sequels.
Chris Rock was brilliant in it. Samuel L. Jackson was brilliant in it. The other characters, I can't really remember them all. They were great. It was well performed. The devices were brilliant again. They were all twisted and crazy, which is great. It's exactly what you want. But the ending comes in and just ruins it all for you. It's like the reveal, and you're like, really? That's the way you went with it? Oh.
What is there any more news? Is there any trailers?
I don't think there are any trailers
I don't
this
think
week,
I've watched trailers in a while.
No.
There was the Shang-Chi one, but it was very much the same as the previous ones. There's only been the one or two.
There's a few bits and pieces of concept art that I sent you, and I'm hoping that they follow through. This is going on to a different genre now. Going away from films. Computer games.
Yeah.
There's concept art for Spiderman 2 for the PlayStation. And he's in a black suit.
Well, yeah, because we see Venom at the end, don't we?
And
but we don't. We see a symbiote at the end.
There was a petition of Tom Hardy going in and voicing Eddie Brock. I was like, no, because then you bring in Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock into that Spider-Man universe, and we don't want that. We want a different...
But it's not Eddie Brock, is it?
I don't know, mate. It probably won't be.
No, but it's not. Because at the end of the Spider-Man game, not Miles Morales, Norman Osborn goes in the room and Harry is in the tank with the symbiote.
That's right, yes.
So it's not
been
Eddie.
a while since I played that game. As soon as I completed it.
So unless the symbiote gets out and finds Eddie.
But to be fair...
Because it's a different sort of storyline, a different universe, I'd imagine it's probably not going to be... I'm not saying it won't be Venom. It probably will be.
I've still haven't played Miles.
Actually, talking of Venom, there's a Venom trailer.
I don't know what you're talking about. We haven't had no. Yeah, there is. There's a Venom trailer. And yeah, let's talk about the Venom trailer.
Yeah, there's been no trailers. Start talking about Venom.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, there's a Venom trailer.
Venom. Oh, we're clever. Go.
Venom trailer.
Mr. Venom coming down to our neck of the woods and not bothering to pop in here and say, hey guys, let's do a podcast.
Where's Mr. Hardy?
Thanks, Tom. Go to Barry Island.
Still
what about the gem of Newport? Since in the comics, by the way, gem of Newport. See, this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at us. Look.
I'll let you talk about
branded.
The trailer.
You need to remember, yeah.
No, I remember it. I just talked about Suicide Squad.
You did, yeah. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited for it. We've talked about this before. When Woody Harrelson turned up in the last film, and you were kind of like, oh, I don't know, because you couldn't see it. Can you see it now? Seeing the trailer?
Yeah, I think it's changed. Different,
I was always for it when he turned up. I was like, given the age.
Oh, he's a great actor.
Yeah, but given the age, and obviously Cletus was about the same age as Eddie, but they were obviously younger in the comics. So given Tom Hardy's age, Woody Harrelson's about this. I think he's a little bit older, but yeah, I was all for it. And now seeing the way they play, and seeing the trailer, and seeing how Woody plays the character, I'm all for this film. I'm just like, yep. I'm really looking forward to how it comes out and where it comes, how it plays. Yep. It's nice as well that they've obviously in the original they're cellmates, and Venom reproduces, and that's what links on to Cassidy, becomes a symbiote. In this one, bites him. He gets a taste of the blood. Now I think that's the offspring. When he bites him, he gets part of the symbiote.
Yeah.
Because the one thing I loved, and I think I texted you this, in the trailer, Venom pops up and they're in the church, and he goes, oh, a red one. And then he goes back in. And then obviously Eddie says, you can eat everyone you want to get him to come back out. And it's like, a red one. Now that takes it back to the first film when you had all the different colours. And obviously each colour had a different kind of fighting style. Because you had the silver one that can make all the grey one, which was the forgettable character. And he could create all weapons. You have, I think the yellow one is the yellow one's the electric one that can kind of manipulate things. I'm trying to remember it from when I was a kid, but the red one is basically he's nuts. It just doesn't care. It does everything. But yeah, I'm interested to see how they play with this and how they win.
Yeah, I think we're going down the story arc of. I think they're going to differ from any story arc. I don't think he's going to be. So Carnage in the comics is Venom's son, in theory. I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm not saying he hasn't come from Venom, but I don't think it's a case of oh, that's my son.
There's not going to be a father-son
Yeah.
bond.
That's my son, and he's going to try and kill me, and any symbiote born after me is stronger. I think it's going to be
that bit
very
might
much.
still be there.
I don't know. It doesn't seem that way in the trailer. It seems
There's going to be an explanation of how it happened. How did he get the symbiote? Is that another one? No, it might be when he bit you, and it might be a conversation between Venom and Eddie. When he bit you, a part of me went across, merged with his blood. Oh, that was good as well. When you see him become Venom, when you see him become Carnage, obviously Eddie, it covers Eddie. Whereas this, he just mutates.
Yeah, so Carnage actually.
He's a blood merged. Isn't he?
He's a blood. Yeah, he merges in blood. So it's not Carnage won't leave.
No.
Catus in
not a host.
long. Yeah, it's not a host. They're very much one. As you see in the trailer when he opens up his hole, the hole in his stomach chest, he's getting shot, and he's just like, and then repairs itself. It's different to Venom. So I think it looks interesting. It looks very much still an early 2000s X-Men sort of.
But again, it doesn't have
That it doesn't.
we're at that point now where we just love it.
Yeah.
And when you look
I
at
think
the
it'll be
first
interesting.
film. The first film had the first trailers for the first film had all these clips in there that made no sense. And then when you watch the film and you see the clips didn't make sense because all the CGI wasn't done, and we didn't see the symbiote, like the bit in the office where he does it with Riot. That's it. Where Riot does that across the office and knocks everything over. That was in the trailer, but we didn't have the Riot. You just had everything moving.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah. So what are we missing in this trailer?
Yeah.
You know.
I think it'll be interesting. So going back to the previous part of the conversation we just had was the Morbius thing that you said by coming out not interested in it, and it's got to come after Venom. So there's a reason it's got to come after Venom. Supposedly, there's a dual cameo. The Morbius might turn up in Venom. So might Spider-Man. I don't believe that because it's out before Spider-Man. However, Venom is supposedly definitely turning up in Morbius. So I think that's the reason as well. Like you said, that we're not going to release stuff early because this needs to go into that.
See, I reckon it's going to be one of those situations where Venom cannot defeat Carnage, and they come in and help.
I think that's going to be the case. I think that's all part of No Way Home.
It would be nice to see Michael Keaton turn up as Vulture. He's the one with the technology. He's the one that's going to have a technology that's going to be able to suppress the.
I think this is part of the No Way Home thing. I think. So we spoke about this previously, and I've been seeing all these TikTokers going around about it. I was like, we talked about that months ago. That the No Way Home is very much the case of Tom Holland's Spider-Man gets locked into another universe. You know, when he's whatever it might be, jumping through time, and he gets stuck. And I think he'll get stuck in the Sony-verse because it'll make more sense. They can do more films of him there, and as we said, bring him back later on, refreshed.
It still fits that Disney dig as well. Obviously, they called it Homecoming because Spider-Man was coming back to Marvel, which was the dig at Sony for getting and now if it's No Way Home, then it's that little dig at Sony. But so it fits the dig. Yeah. And I think you're on the nail with that one, mate.
I think he'll end up over there, and we'll get a couple of movies of him. It might not be we'll get Spider-Man movies. I don't think Sony will try and risk Spider-Man movies. I think it'll be more to do with the fact of
I reckon
we'll get these build-up movies.
I reckon Spider-Man, Sony are going to be. There's no point in making Spider-Man movies because when they tried to reboot it, it kind of tanked. They tried too much. So why not stick with the villains and just have Spider-Man turn up and just be there? Like second Batman film in The Dark Knight. The very beginning of that film when they reintroduced The Dark Knight. And you have the thing shines on the ceiling and they're like, "No, man, not tonight, not tonight." Imagine things like that. But in this universe where they're all battling and you got the one bad guy, so you got Venom, and Venom, for instance, knows that Spider-Man's there now, knows that there's someone that can defeat him. However they tie that in. So he doesn't try to go out and do anything, but then his villains, so Carnage, doesn't care, so he goes out and does it anyway. And then you get that team up of those two, Spider-Man and Venom, teaming up against things like that in the universe. So Spider-Man could still be around.
Yeah, so the way I would do it, and Sony, again, I want bank if you do this, No Way Home happens, he gets trapped over there, you do what you just said, that would be part of my plan. And it would get to a point where he has to go back to his universe, the MCU universe. So as he's doing that, he meets Miles Morales. Miles Morales becomes the Sony's Spider-Man, and Tom Holland goes back to Marvel after about 4 years. He's away, maybe 5 years. He's away long enough that we'll want him and miss him, and the universe will want him and miss him. But he'll create this whole other bubble and a whole other universe over there. So you could just get it where you've got the different villains, like you say, you do the different villain stories, bits and pieces. Obviously, you keep going on about Black Cat and...
You're kind of... It sounds like you're pulling from... there it goes, there's the fan.
Yeah.
You're kind of pulling from the Spider-Verse. Because that's kind of similar to the Spider-Verse, right? Peter B. Parker gets sucked into the Spider-Verse, trains Miles Morales up, and goes back to his own reality. That kind of idea.
Yeah, but that's sort of how it is, because obviously in the Ultimate Universe where Miles Morales is actually created, Peter Parker dies, so that's what Spider-Verse is. But rather than Peter Parker dying, or another Spider-Man training him, it's very much a case of they become friends, but this Peter Parker now's got to go to another universe over there, and that universe, the Sony universe, hasn't got the technology to reach out to this other universe. Well, it's one and the same. It's not. So Miles Morales gets bit. However you want to do it, he gets bit by a spider, you can do whatever you want to do. But he becomes Spider-Man. But I'd rather he became Spider-Man like he does in the comics, where he has to learn everything himself. Because that's what Spider-Man should be. It should be a coming-of-age story, a growing-up story. So rather than having a Spider-Verse where Spider-Man is showing him, it's very much a case of they mix, they entwine, and then maybe just as he got bit and just as he gets his powers. A bit like, I'll tell you what, a bit like the game. Because in the game, he gets his powers towards the end. I haven't played the game. And then, you played number one.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah, he gets his powers towards the end in number one. And then in the sequel, Peter Parker's got to go to Europe, I think. He goes from New York, and that's why Miles Morales is running New York. You could do a similar thing to that if you wanted. Yeah, but it then gives you...
You haven't got no PS4 versions of that yet, have you?
No.
That sucks.
So,
I don't want to buy it for PS4, but I'd love to play it if I could get my hands on it. But I don't want to buy it because I know that one day I'm going to have a PS5 and I want. But then at the same time, I'm like, that one day I'm going to have a PS5. It's going to be about 5 years, 6 years, because that's when they're going to be available. Yeah. But
so yeah, I think if you could just do that sort of story in the films, you don't need to use Tom Holland for a Spider-Man story. You can have him in Venom 3 or in Black Cat or White and Silver or Ugly and Black, whatever these other ones are about. Obviously, that's another thing we haven't talked about. In the Sony universe, weird casting. Aaron Taylor, what's his face?
No, it's Craven.
As Craven the Hunter. Weird casting. So Craven the Hunter's
Craven was Mexican or
no? He's but in the comics he's 6. I think he's 6'6", 6'7", maybe. I could be wrong there, but he just goes on this massive hunt.
Where's he from? Craven the Hunter.
I'm pretty sure it's Africa, mate.
Probably was. It's just I think it's the tash that made me think Mexican.
Big thing, yeah. Obviously, the dream casting everyone kept doing was Jason Momoa. So if you think of Jason Momoa and you think of Aaron Taylor,
okay, Jason Momoa, I could see.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to
Craven
think.
The Hunter, yeah.
What's his name? Aaron Taylor
Johnson.
Johnson, yeah.
Mate, you should know. You should be able to look at me and be like, "Oh yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson." Yeah. But yeah.
So if you have like dream casting, not for me, but
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Okay. Origin story, younger version of Craven. I can see that.
He's too old to play a younger version.
He's being older than us. He's like 34.
He's older than us.
Oh, he's older than us. I think he's about the same age as us.
Alright, he's about the same age as us. Too old for Craven. The origin story. Oh, so no. Craven is a character in the for Spider-Man who could hunt and kill anything. And
he doesn't at first, though, does he? He's a scientist, and he's like a scientist at work, and he's like they're studying. Him and his missus are studying animals and stuff in it, and they're studying. I'm trying to remember it from the bloody TV show. Yeah, and they try to explain it in the TV show. And
but the important thing of this
he takes the serum or something.
The hunting part of it is he kills everything on Earth, and the last thing he wants to kill is Spider-Man. And when he kills Spider-Man in the last hunt, I think it's called the last hunt. He spoilers, has nothing else left to kill, sat in his room and kills himself. It's a very somber, full-on story. Spider-Man's not actually dead, he comes out of the grave. But
Obviously.
no
one dies in comics.
But he's such a great character, such a great villain, because he just doesn't stop. And what I'm worried about is the MCU have had a great villain recently.
Right. Yeah, he's killed one of every animal on the planet, and now he wants a Spider-Man because it's the only animal he hasn't. Because doesn't he arrive when Spider-Man becomes the Man Spider, and that's why Kraven comes to hunt him? Isn't that where the story comes?
I think that's what it is in the anime series.
Yeah, that's my only thing of Kraven the Hunter.
But I just don't want to see a character like Taskmaster, we spoke about on the previous episode, sort of destroyed. Now, I'm not saying they would destroy him because he's a award-winning actor. He is a great actor. He's just very interesting casting.
It took me till the end of the film to realise he was Quicksilver in the MCU. I was like, why does he look familiar? Watch his kick-ass. There he is. That's why he's familiar.
Yeah. There he is. So, no, he's a good actor. Yes. But it's an interesting casting. But who knows? It's interesting. But he's got a film coming up. So again, you've got a Spider-Man in that. And then you could just do the fact that, there we go, you could do it, he thinks he killed Spider-Man in the Sonyverse. That Spider-Man. And he hasn't. He actually transports, goes across whatever they want to call it to the MCU timeline. Yeah. Again.
Doctor Strange walks in. Peter Parker, you have to come with me.
Yeah, and then
a bad impression of a really bad American accent.
And then we get Miles Morales. It's a vibe Sony, that's what I'd be banking on.
Well, Miles worked.
Yeah. I'd be banking on it because we've seen Spider-Man enough.
Given the year we had, why not have a black superhero? Seriously. I mean, who cares what colour he is, but still, that's something that you could push.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Such an inspiring person as well.
Yeah. And there's nothing then stopping them from opening up their own universe again and further down the line or offshoot and doing a Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
You know, you've got these properties with these characters that are massive. And we've seen how popular they were in Spider-Verse. So why not get live action and get it tied into your universe? And I love Peter Parker. I love that Spider-Man. But maybe he's been done to death now.
Well, imagine the Amazing Spider-Man, instead of Andrew Garfield being Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Imagine if they did a Spider-Gwen story. And Peter Parker was like Spider-Gwen gets bit. Or, Gwen gets bit, becomes Spider-Woman, as she calls herself. And starts doing it. And then Peter tries to, as she says, imitate her powers using lizard, becomes the lizard. And then you get that fight. That'd have been a great story for him to do. Instead of doing Amazing Spider-Man. Like you say, Peter Parker is just a bit OTT now.
Yeah, so just get rid of Peter Parker.
And the problem we've got, I think Tom Holland is the perfect cast for the young version of Spider-Man. I think he's played the character amazingly.
Yeah, yes.
And you won't beat that. I mean, Andrew Garfield wasn't bad, but I didn't feel they'd beat Tobey Maguire. I thought he was fantastic. Yeah.
I think the best thing for them to do now is he does go away from the MCU for a while. He goes over to Sony, does films over there, and then maybe he decides, Tom Holland might turn around and say he doesn't want to play Spider-Man anymore and gets killed off. Or he goes, right, actually, it's been 10 years, or it's been 5 years, 8 years, whatever it might be, in film thing, and he ends up going back to the MCU.
Yeah.
He gets that break and they do that deal, and then that'll just give Sony another stepping stone to add more characters. The whole reason we got the MCU is because Marvel didn't own Spider-Man, they didn't own X-Men, so they had to use characters that nobody really spoke about.
We've talked about quite a few times.
Yeah. So I think it's time for these companies now to go back down that well. So where Marvel are going to bring in Fantastic Four and they're going to bring in the X-Men, we know this. Why don't Sony look further afield than Peter Parker and look at and well, they are doing that because obviously they've got the Venom film and Morbius, but why don't they carry on looking on and go and actually give us Tom Holland back? We'll have him for 5 years, or we'll have him for 5 movies, and then we'll give him back to you. That gives the MCU time to grow and expand and add more characters, and he comes into this universe again then, that he is then again, and this is the best part of the story, this will be a better part of the story, he is then again, he's just become an Avenger. He's starting to settle life after Tony. He's then been exposed. He's on the run. Doctor Strange got all that. When he comes back for like I said, after 5 years or whatever it might be in movie time, he again is an outsider. So people might know that that's Peter Parker, or they might reset the universe through the whole one day. We're not going to go into that. But even if he comes back, he's still an outsider then. So he's still not part of the Avengers because it'll be a different team. It'll be different people. And he won't quite be a leader because he will, in theory, he should be a leader, but he won't be because he's coming in again to a new team. So he's got to go back in the pecking order and reprove himself because everything that happened 10 years ago in the MCU.
See, again, that's a great shout, but him coming back, it would literally be like Captain America coming back. They'd all know who he was because of the past and that.
Yeah, but
and
I
he
think
comes back and you could literally have him just their chips are down, they're failing, everything's going wrong. In swing Spider-Man. Oh my God! It's,
But I'm thinking of the greatest thing of the greatest story, the bigger picture of the
Spider-Man
of the actual character. I think it's more important that the character would come in and he would be shell shocked. He's gone into a universe that he didn't know. He didn't have friends. He didn't have family. He didn't have anyone there.
Imagine the PTSD he'd have.
Precisely, and he comes back to the MCU. And like maybe, I don't want to be morbid here in any way, shape or form, but maybe Aunt May's dead. And so's Happy. And he's coming back after 10 years. And like MJ's moved on and she's married and it's, and whatever. All this other stuff that he knew.
There'd ever been an evil version of Spider-Man, Peter Parker. That's the way they could so go with that. Imagine he comes back and MJ and Ned.
Don't do that. You don't do that.
No, loves Peter Parker.
No, it's not that. It's just you could do an alternative version of him being evil, but you'd still need the normal Spider-Man to counteract that. My thing would come back. It's that balancing act. It's what Iron Man 3 was, basically. It's the PTSD, it's the shell shock. It's like, I just spent 10 years over here, or 5 years of my life. Like, it might be a case that he's in Sonyverse for 5 years, but by the time he gets back to the MCU, it's actually 10 years ahead. So he's going to come back. He's going to be 5 years older, but he's actually 10 years older. And in that 10 years, that universe, that world has changed. Doctor Strange might not be around anymore. He doesn't know anyone on the team.
You'd get Venom into the MCU because he brings the symbiote back with him.
You could do that. I don't think you need that, though, because you can open your doors with Fantastic Four and the mutants, and I think that's the whole other thing. So he's going to come back, and then all of a sudden there's going to be this Fantastic Four team. He would never have met Johnny Storm. He's never met Wolverine. He's never met Professor X. Like, do you know what I mean?
Race?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. But he's come back and he's
Johnny
like...
Storm and Spider-Man race around New York.
Yeah. So he comes back and he's still this... Not immature, because he's not the immature Peter Parker, but he comes back in... So what, he's 17 in the MCU at the moment, 18?
Probably less than that.
So if he goes...
So he's only 12.
If he goes now and comes back 5 years later, he'd still only be 23 in theory, but yet in reality, not including the blip, because that adds another 5 years, he would be more closer to his 30s. So Johnny Storm would be just the right age for them to go and, they should be both younger, they should be both in their teens, but you've got that connection and he can't find anyone else. And Johnny Storm is the sort of outsider of the Fantastic Four, not the outsider, you know what I mean? And they create that bond. You've got that whole other opportunity, but you've got an opportunity to bring back a Spider-Man or a Peter Parker that's just devastated. Yeah. It might even be a case that you get the iconic shot that you've got in Spider-Man and obviously the picture from the comics where he comes back into this world. He doesn't know anyone. Aunt May's dead. Happy's gone. There's nothing. He's not quite sure what's going on, and he puts his suit in the bin and walks away, and maybe walks to see Pepper Potts and just says, "Look, I'm back, but I need money," and he's just a broken man. And it's sort of what we got in Iron Man 3, but it'll be on a grander scale because it'll be a case of, oh wow, whole shit, you can leave that one in.
We're allowed one.
Yeah, because the whole world is just, his whole life is turned upside down. in 5 years he's gone to another universe where there's all these things. He comes back to the universe he knows. It's 10 years in the future, and nobody knows he's around. The love of his life, or his first love, is married to somebody else. His best mate's maybe dead, or maybe he's turned into Hobgoblin or whatever. Do you know what I mean? He's turned evil after Peter went, and it's just got to balance all this stuff, and it's just a massive. They won't do that. It's too dark for Disney, but I can fantasize.
Might be too dark for Disney, but it's not too dark for Disney Star.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just there's so many great possibilities, and this is why I don't want a Spider-Man trailer.
Yeah.
Because I'll open the doors and I'll know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and then it'll kind of ruin it for you a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
but I think,
therefore I am.
I think therefore I am. I think that's the way forward. I think take Tom Holland out to the MCU, and then let his
give him
character
No Way
develop.
Home. That's a good name for a film.
Yeah.
Right, so yeah.
What you call that there? Are
I
we
think we
still
should.
filming?
Yeah, it better be. Otherwise,
We can't have
otherwise they've been watching a still of us for the last 10 minutes like
Yeah,
this.
it's another 2 minutes.
So, oh well.
Right. I think we'll call it a day there. We'll
Do
be
we,
back next week to talk about...
Thursday's the new Fridays, are they?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. We'll be back next week to talk about...
Any trailers that drop
What
on Monday?
if?
Because they normally drop on a Monday or a Friday.
Oh, you know, the moment we hang this up, there's a fucking...
At least I know this one's near the end.
You know, when we hang this up, there's going to be a trailer on for, like, Spider-Man. I'll be on the thing now, so... Anyway, right. Should we call it there?
Yeah. Before we do, you notice the artwork, same artwork as on the last video. If you want your artwork shown here, because you said you were going to talk about this, it's been an hour or so. We'll talk about it next week.
We'll definitely talk about it next week when I've made more notes about it.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you get the right address and everything.
Yeah,
Done by a
yeah,
local
of course.
artist here in Newport. This will be up again next week anyway.
Yep.
Probably going to remain up. It's my favourite.
It probably
Amazing.
will. But if you do want some art up here and you want to kind of sponsor us, get in touch on the old mail at let'schatgeek.co.uk.
That's correct. And we're on all the social medias and your book faces and your Twitbox and your...
Podbean and
Yeah.
anywhere you get your podcasts, because I've got that all linked in together like
Yeah.
a proper multiverse.
And someday we might even be on TikTok with...
Yeah,
But
you
they
can
only
do
give us a
TikTok,
minute,
no
so
bother.
I can't see that happening.
Just TikTok, but no, not interested. I don't know why. I'd probably be funny.
I think it'd be good, TikTok.
I fall over and have lots of accidents a lot, so that'd be funny. Although I look at some of the content on it and I'm like, oh my god, these guys are great. And then I'm like, yeah, they're films. They're probably all fake.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I'm
Right.
not dissing them.
Should
But
we just call it there?
yeah, we'll call it there. Thanks to our sponsor as always. There'll be a little tag at the end of this. Did it survive? It did. It stayed up.
Yeah.
Happy days.
I've been Seamus Jordan.
I've been a mighty Fozzie.
Good night, God bless, all the best. Boom!